Yo. Anyway, chat, I think last stream I said that we were gonna try and get some more money here, so I think that's gonna be the main goal today. How have you guys been since last stream? Hopefully nothing too crazy has happened since the short time since we saw each other. What up, Tex? What up, Drago? What up, Jester? What up, Noah? What up, Jester? Ethan for the resub, Noah for the resub, Tex for the resub. Hello. Tex, your last, I'm looking at the queue, your last Tangia was 101 days ago. I graduated, got an apartment, and new job. Also really gonna see for a bit. I've streamed since those things happened. I'm like 95% sure. You got engaged? What, into a fucking 9-year Verizon contract? Probably. If that. Is this what a normal Sun stream sounds like? I feel a little ungreased. And white. I gotta get out of this very bright room. There we go, thank goodness. I had another kid. I do not believe you. I got married and had a baby. I believe that even less. Now I don't know who's lying. Congrats to everyone on their huge life accomplishments. Hold on. Ethan, I assume you're listening, and I assume you're in a public lobby. Or private lobby. I haven't seen you... My game isn't muted, it's just super low audio because there's not much to hear. I usually have my game really quiet. It's just very, very low, and there's music, and there's subs. Everything is really low audio. Chat, is that real? Like the music, even the subs? You don't hear music. Wait, there's low audio and then there's no audio. Wait, am I the only audio you guys have been hearing this entire time? Oh my god, I've been jamming to some tunes on my own. Frick, hold on. Was the last thing I did was record for you know what? Oh, I swear to Christ. We've just been hearing me. Yup, that checks out. God, I suck. 2, 3, 2, 3. Yup. Okay, I gotta reset the stream to fix the audio. Or wait, let me check if it fixes automatically. Do you guys hear it now? Okay. I'm gonna replay the last like 3 songs because they were bangers. Alright, cool. Thank you, Kai, for the 82 months. Thank you, Tex, for the 72 months. Drago for the 60 months. Noah for the 17 months. Ethan for the whatever amount of time that was. It's gone now. Okay. There goes my 4th stream of the year joke. Jesus. Chat, if you ever want a 4th stream this year, you will tell me that my audio is broken before we end. Jesus. This is my 3rd stream of the year. Go me. The first stream this year was January 2nd. And then in January, there was a very terrible death. So that pretty much wiped out January. And then I was like, February, I'm gonna show wife some love up till Valentine's Day. And then I'm back after Valentine's Day, baby. And then I had a heart attack. And so that pretty much wiped out February to March. And I'm here now, so fucking Jesus Christ. Hopefully April brings May golden showers. I don't know. I should permanently have a heart monitor on screen. I do wear a Fitbit now. It's my wife's, so it's pink. My heart rate's currently 70, which is a good number for me. I am doing better, which is both annoying and good. Here's why it's annoying. It's like, okay, so when this first started, I lost 15 pounds, and I was pissed because I wanted to lose 15 pounds this year, but not the way that I did it, which was vomiting 3 times a day for 10 days straight. I don't know if that was related to the heart thing, but it definitely wasn't good timing. So I've lost about 15 pounds since last stream. Go me. That was pretty fucking redonkulous. Pretty painful. Yeah, especially because I'm usually the guy that only vomits once every 15 years. But ever since TwitchCon, now I vomit once a year minimum. I really blew the load. I had such a good streak, and now I'm struggling to maintain a year of no vomit. I'd rather die, I think, than vomit. My siblings, they vomit, you know, they're like, oh, I feel like I should throw up, like normal people. They're like, I should throw up. And so then, you know, they're like, I don't feel good, I'm gonna throw up. I fight tooth and nail. I take all the nausea meds, do everything I can before even considering the thought. And I know I will feel better afterwards. But go fuck yourself. Actually, you don't feel better if your stomach's empty, which is what was happening to me. I gained 20 pounds since last stream. Jesus. It's such a weird thing to talk about. Oh well, I don't usually go out very often, like once every couple of years. It was like green out and it sucks. I never greened out, luckily. That looks like ass. So do we want this to be just the chill, get back to the vibe stream, or do you guys want lore dump? I can do get real lore dump, or we can, you know, just get back to the vibes and then circle back to a lore dump. I know some chatters prefer one, some prefer the other. I play GTA Online now. I declared on January 1st that this would be the year of GTA Online, and it is. I could also do both. I mean, I will kind of just casually bring it up, yeah. But I know some people just like story time. How's the music, by the way? I think the game audio is good. If you can't hear it, that's just kind of the idea. Does this mean no pickle return? No. Mainly because that's a really fucking difficult line to thread because NoPixel is modded. And if you want to do online GTA, if you get caught modding, you just get banned from the game. And so you kind of have to go back and forth constantly, and I am inept. No, this is just straight up GTA Online doing missions in heist with the boys and the wife. I hate working on movies, but I'm good at it. How many movies do you get to work on? Hell yeah. I did meet with a doctor the other day, a professional, and he basically just called me fat and told me I should quit Twitch streaming. So I'll give you guys his email address at the end of stream. It was kind of crazy. I do love a good asshole doctor, but he was pushing it. He asked what I did for work, and he was really impressed by it. And then he looks at wife, and he goes, and what do you do? And she goes, I'm a dental assistant. And he goes, oh, I guess that's something. And then he ignored her the rest of the visit and just showed an insane amount of disrespect because of her job. But not to me. He loved me for my, which was weird, you know. So that was crazy. He's like, I guess it's a Monday to Friday, so that's good. I was like, it would have been better if you said nothing. Alright, I gotta start doing missions. Or not missions, I'm working on my warehouse. We might occasionally run into Ethan over here. If you guys have GTA Online, I will add you as a friend. You can join my crew and everything. We play almost nightly right now. And the other is entertainment. He goes, I want to, he goes, I want your job. And I was like, okay. He goes, I'm gonna tell my kids MT came in today. And I went, oh, my initials. He goes, yes, MT. And then he quoted Jerry Maguire for a while, and that was interesting. What is this? I don't think I've seen this icon. The Freak Shop? Oh yeah, I just unlocked this last night. Okay, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I gotta go to my job. We had to make 2 short films in class for me at a film festival in May, and one of them I got to hold a boom mic. Also, apparently my entire class thinks I'm good at editing. I had a similar thing. I mean, chat knows this. I thought I wanted to do movies, and then I joined basically movie class in school. And me and my friends were the best at it, and we won some awards at some little festivals. But it was in that class that I discovered that I despised the actual grind of making film or movies or videos. But then luckily I was like, oh, I can use those same skills for live content. Which I like. I basically just hate editing. Which was the main thing I was good at. I am a good editor. I just despise it. Yeah. I'm not dying, so that's nice. Basically, that's been confirmed by several specialists. I basically know nothing. I'm feeling better, and it's just kind of like, alright. Taking the make movies for the rest of your life class? Quite serious. Yeah, they thought I had SVT again. But the doctor I spoke to, like I said, that was an asshole, was the confirm or deny SVT doctor, and he's like... He basically told me, that I was crazy for thinking I had SVT, and I was like, whoa, I don't think I have SVT. Because I went in, and he goes, why are you here? And I went, I don't know, my cardiologist told me to come see you. And he goes, I don't think you have SVT. And I went, I don't think so either. And he goes, but you're here. And I went, I hear you. I get what you're saying. I couldn't, so it was a lot of talking in circles and him trying to tell me politely to stop self-diagnosing. And I was like, I didn't say, like, he was just kind of gaslighting me for a while, which was really interesting. This is my company, by the way. This is my secretary, chat. Say hi. I haven't named her in case you want to name her. How many times have I applied? Probably more. I mean, both sides of my family have a crazy history of heart disease. That's the annoying thing. Like, you know, aspects of this could have been anxiety, but it's one of those things where I've had SVT, and then my cardiologist, without me knowing it was an option, said, it's likely your SVT came back. And then my dad's side of the family has lots of weird, rare heart diseases. And then my mom's side of the family has a huge history of high blood pressure and high cholesterol. And so it's one of those things where I just have to take it seriously. I can't just assume it's my heart being weird. I kind of have to give it the time of day. Okay. Ethan, if you can hear me, if you're bored, you can help me do a 16 crate warehouse delivery. And if it blows up and we lose it and I lose $500,000, I will hate you. But for this out of the loop, basically what was happening, the second week of February, every night at like 4 p.m.-ish, I just start getting super faint, and I'd have to lie down for it to go away for like an hour, and then I could continue with my day. And so that was ass. And then it got really bad on Valentine's Day. We went out to dinner, and so there was a big wait, and I didn't have a chance to lay down. Yeah, it was unpleasant, but it wasn't the end of the world. I was just like, alright, it's probably just something, my body being weird. Where's my warehouse? Oh, it's right there. I'm just a block off. And then the next day, I just feel my, like, chest pounding, and I'm like, oh, that's annoying. And so I take a shower to relax, and I feel it pounding faster. I'm like, boy, that's really annoying. And then I lay down in bed, and now I can just feel like it in my head, like I can just feel it in my entire body, my heartbeat. And I'm like, man, this is... And so I told wife, and we went to the ER. And my heart rate was 160 lying down for about an hour and a half there. It eventually went down, and that's when the nausea started. I threw up there at the ER, and I was like, oh, that's weird and annoying. And then I thought I was having a heart attack because it went back up. And then whatever it is has been causing really intense heartburn, which I've never had an issue before in my life. And so I just felt intense heartburn, and my heart rate skyrocketed at the same time, and I went, I'm having a heart attack. And they went, no, you're not. Have you ever heard of heartburn? And then they basically patronized me, which was super cool. And they were like, you ever hear about heartburn? And I was like, I guess, but I've never had it, so I didn't know. That's, you know, given the situation, I don't think I'm that crazy for panicking. Anyway. So then the next day was where the real problem started. The next day, and then for 3 weeks after that, if I got up at all, my heart rate would instantly shoot up to 150. So I just laid in bed, and I'd be like, alright, I need to take a poop. And I'd have to rush my poops, because if they took longer than 5 minutes, I'd start hitting 160s and feeling the palpitations. And then I had to go lay back down and then wait for part 2 of the poop. And yeah, and at the same time, I wasn't eating, because now I had this intense nausea and this just constant heart rate sensitivity issue. And so then I schedule a bunch of appointments, and they're all like 2 months out, and I'm like, oh, so I just have to sit in bed and sulk for 2 months, waiting to figure out what's wrong and hoping then it gets better. And so then I see the cardiologist like 2 weeks later. I've just been laying in bed eating tortillas and handfuls of lettuce for every meal, because it was all I could keep down. Even with nausea medication. It was awful. And I can feel every heartbeat just throughout the day. It's super sick. And then sometimes even while I'm laying down, it just shoots up. And so 3 days after the first ER visit, I had to go to the ER again because I was just laying in bed. And it went, we're going to go to 160 now. And I went, you son of a bitch, I'm in. We went to the ER. They were like, you're not dying. We're going to send you home now. I said, okay, wicked. They referred me to a cardiologist. I saw him. He put this sticky, giant heart monitor on my chest that I was supposed to wear for 2 weeks. So now for 2 weeks, I can't shower. I'm laying in I smelled like shit, chat. I couldn't shower properly because I just had this stinky, sticky patch of chest that I couldn't wash, or the sticky patch would come off before 2 weeks. I'm laying in bed 90% of the time. Which was pretty ass. If you followed me on Letterboxd or were in Discord, you saw that I watched basically 15 movies a day. I watched every Step Up movie, every Harry Potter movie, every John Cena movie on Hulu, every Kevin Hart movie on Hulu, and I think some other series, but I can't remember. I started binging House. I binged through Archer. And that was all I did every day, was that and eat tortillas and lettuce. It was depressing. Then I'm halfway through the 2 weeks with the heart monitor. I have a third ER visit. Just another crazy spike while I'm laying down. Oh yeah, I'm gonna clear through my movies this year. Anyway, what was I saying? And so I'm almost done with the heart patch, and I finally get an appointment to see my primary care doctor, who had canceled my previous one after the first ER visit because we had a snowstorm here. Oh, guys, we had a crazy snowstorm. We were stranded here. And I had all these problems, and all my doctor's appointments, all of them got pushed back several weeks. And I was like, cool, awesome. I guess I'm just going to lose a month of my life waiting. And I knew my primary care doctor couldn't do anything because I already seen the cardiologist and was waiting on, the heart monitor to be done. And my primary care, she would just be like, go see a cardiologist, idiot. So I go to the cardiologist, or my primary care, I finally get in to see her, and I go, hey. And usually you shouldn't tell them what to do, but I was like, I need an answer in some way of something I can do better. And so I'm like, give me a blood test, please, and just check for low iron and whatever else you feel like. And she goes, I'm going to check your vitamin D and your iron. And I go, okay. Because you guys know, for my cholesterol, I switched over to eating chicken and fish, which I had read online. You know, you shouldn't do that, but again, I was just in bed for 3 weeks trying to find some way to be better. Normally, I wouldn't, you know, be self-Googling WebMD Andy, but I had read that low iron could cause heart palpitations and heart issues, and all of the protein I'd been eating for the last year had 0 iron, so I was getting no iron. So I was like, oh, that could be fucking what it be. Especially if it's a problem now, since I just, you know, switched off of red meat, which has a lot of iron. And so she tests it, and they call me the next day, and they go, your iron is perfect. I go, oh. And they go, this is perfect. And they go, your vitamin D is 10. And I go, oh. I didn't even know they tested my vitamin D. And they said, yo, am I back? Am I back? Am I back? Am I back? Welcome back, thank you. Alright, cool. OBS and GTA crashed, which we know is always an issue. GTA and OBS on my PC do not play well together, which is just thrilling stuff. Alright, what was the last thing I said? Let me try to get back to where I was at in my story. Oh. What was I at? What was I saying? You headshot Franklin? You asshole. They said... Oh. Wait. Okay. So they called me to let me know. Low vitamin D. Oh, they said my level was 10. And they usually want it to be between 40 and 100, preferably over 80 for proper body shit. My levels are considered severely low, and so like so people like my friend Taylor were like, why don't you just drink orange juice? It's so low that you can no longer raise it higher because the body is struggling to get vitamin D so badly that it has no reserves. So the moment it gets even if I drank a gallon of orange juice, none of it would go into the reserve tank. It would all immediately go towards backup processes that have been on layaway. So they put me not just on a vitamin D supplement, but one that you can only get from the doctor. I'm basically once a week taking a vitamin D pill that's the equivalent of like laying in the sun for 30 days. It's 50,000 units, and I can only take it once a week because if I take it daily, I could go toxic because the body can only absorb it so fast. So it's basically just overloading vitamin D, so eventually my body is forced to put some in the reserves. And I do that for 12 weeks, and then they check my levels again. And hopefully they've improved, and then I go to a smaller dose. The first vitamin D dose I took, I could feel it oozing out of my pores, and I could just taste it like in my eyes and nose and mouth. It was weird. This I've taken two. It's now been 3 weeks. Tomorrow I take my 4th dose of 12. And now my body knows how to process it. It's not as, what the fuck is this chemical in me? And I started feeling how I do now better. a couple days after the third dose. So with like this last week has felt relatively normal. I will say, oh, the nausea went away after I started taking liquid IV, which is ironic if you've watched me long enough, because I used to bully chatters who took that kind of stuff, because I'm like, just drink water, forehead, quit putting flavor enhancers in your shit. But at my ER visits, they were like, you're perfectly hydrated. And I was like, I realized, chat, what's my #1 medical issue, even before all this, that I had been seeing my doctor for? What is it? We all know it. I do it too much. Roommate bullies me. I pee too much. I realized since all this started, I was peeing like twice a day. Which again, I went, wait, just like the losing weight, I was doing better, but I didn't earn it, so that meant it was a bad thing. And so I went and got electrolyte supplements, and I started taking those every morning and drinking more water, and within 3 days, the nausea went away. So, whatever had in my body, it was fucking dehydrated in a way that just wasn't showing up the ER for some reason. So that solved that. And then, like I said, within the last week, after 3 weeks of vitamin D, and it, you know, it could be that, it could be just being hydrated regularly. Well, no, now I pee a normal amount. I pee the middle ground now. Now I pee like 10 times a day. Yeah, my issue wasn't like, oh shit, I'm not peeing 20 times a day. It was, I was peeing way less while drinking the same amount of water. I was like, I haven't changed. If anything, I'm drinking more water now because I can't eat anything, and I'm peeing less. That is a bad thing. So that solved that. And then after the 2-week heart monitor, the cardiologist said it didn't show anything, which was annoying because I still wasn't feeling better at all. It was only like 1 week in vitamin D, and then finally, it was scheduled 2 months ago. My electrophysiologist specialty doctor appointment was yesterday. Which was annoying because I finally saw him the week I was feeling better. And his first question is, why are you here? And I'm like, I hear you, man. Basically, because I've already been billed for this. So I may as well say hi to you and see what you think. And he's like, you don't have any problems. You're just anxious. And I was like, well, this is awesome. Then he gaslit me for a while. So yeah. Now you went live text now is back to being unfunny. Well, no, that was the one, only one doctor gaslit me. It's the one that I told you guys at the start of all the stories from yesterday. It was just the EP. Which, again, valid. I expected it because I was showing up feeling better. And I knew I didn't have SVT. Because it was annoying because my cardiologist was like, you might have SVT. And I was like, no, I already did. And they fixed it. And he goes, it can come back. It actually does in 20% of people. And I went, oh, interesting. And I went, but this doesn't feel like when I had SVT. And he was like, I'm the doctor. And I was like, fair point. I guess I was 12 when I last had it. And I guess it could be different. But I was like, this doesn't feel like SVT is what I just kept saying. But then he referred me to the SVT doctor. And the SVT doctor was like, he didn't even do it. He was like, you don't have SVT. And I went, I know. And then it became clear that he had to like hit a time limit. Because he just kept like yapping and talking in circles about streaming and anxiety. Because I even told him, because he was like, you're just out of shape. And I went, okay, valid. However, the reason that I started seeing medical attention was I had been running all of last year and getting in shape. Even did a 5K. And then in the winter, when I couldn't run because it was too cold, I started working out around the house. And he goes, 5K, you need to start maybe half 5K. And I was like, first of all, I already did, like, there was clearly stuff getting lost in translation. Or he just wanted to, you know, call me out of shape. And then he was like, this Twitch streaming, maybe you need to rethink the value of it to you. If it's hurting you, making you live an unhealthy life, is it really worth the happiness it brings you? And I was like, can you shut up? You're depressing me. Wife was like, I didn't know we went to a fucking specialist for therapy. I personally prefer mean doctors. I really do. I think this guy was kind of pushing it though. But again, I already felt like I was wasting his time, so even then I felt it was reasonable. But I'm a very different person. I'd rather not be babied by a doctor and them just be deliberate and blunt with me. And be like, this is what's going on. This is what's not going on. I'm the professional. Because it also just puts me at ease. I'm like, all right, if you're confident, I'm confident. But yeah, there was definitely clearly some stuff being lost in translation. Because there was some stuff he was saying that I couldn't understand, and I have to keep asking him to repeat it, and vice versa. Because he was like, you get in your head because you've had SVT, now you think you have SVT, and I was like, no. My cardiologist said I have SVT. I didn't even know that was an option until he said that. But again, it was annoying because at that point I wasn't really symptomatic, and so I was like, alright, valid. The day before that, I finally had my stress test, which I scheduled again 2 months ago. That shit was ass. I guess some other specialty tests. So basically, if there's still a problem, it's not anything that's dangerous in killing me. Maybe it'll flare up again. It literally could just be I had some really weird virus for 2 weeks because I got tested for the flu, COVID, all that stuff. But there's only so many diseases the ER tests for. So maybe I had some really weird bug for 2 weeks that was freaking out my body. I don't know. But I'm getting back to working out. The weird thing is, so my heart rate was returning to normal this week. However, I was still having the fainting episodes earlier this week. But the last 2 or 3 days I haven't. So that's hopefully finally gone. We'll see. And then what else? I just realized I haven't done anything. I've just been driving around, but honestly it helps me think. I think it's good background. Shit. Gregory House should be my doctor. I do love House. Oh, there was something I missed. I'm trying to circle back to it now. Let's see. Nausea, heart rate, palpitations. Oh, when I first saw the cardiologist, he gave me a medication that's designed to lower your heart rate. Good. And the first day I took it, I was so happy because my heart rate wasn't breaking 110 when I got up. Badass, right? And then that night, I lay down for bed. And here's the thing. It lowers it across the board. I'm about to fall asleep and I check my heart rate and it's in the 30s. And when you fall asleep, it usually drops another 10. And I go, ooh, yikes. And so wife is like, I can't sleep knowing that. And so she put her Fitbit on me. And then just stared at it while I fell asleep. To make sure it didn't drop too low. Because we were both really nervous the night. The next day I took it, same thing happened. Neither of us was able to sleep because it was getting scary low. And so then I stopped taking that, and then I went back to not feeling better. So that was crazy, because I went, wow, I feel better now. Jolly, you've missed all the lore. Get fucked. That was the final bit of the lore story. What if I had a heart attack right now? It would be the most likely. Hold on, let me... 75. So now that I have the Fitbit, I almost guarantee there's a third-party app I can link to my Fitbit account to put my heart rate on screen. I almost guarantee that exists out there. I hit 10,000 steps yesterday and today. I'm a little fit boy. Jolly, do you want an invite or are you just chilling? Okay, I'm gonna try and focus and accomplish something. I haven't done the daily stash house, have I?